My name is Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa. Uh, I was born in Borno State, specifically in Dikwa local government area of Borno State. I did my primary education in Dikwa, and then the secondary at Dikashua, and degree, both the Bachelor of Science and the Masters in the University of Maiduguri, and then did PhD in the Republic of Sudan in accounting and finance. I worked with the Borno State government from 1985 to 2003. From there, I transferred my service to federal service, and I finally retired from the federal service on the 3rd of January 2020. In the course of my public service, I've so far so good reached the peak of my career, both at the state, at the federal level. At the state level, I happened to be the Accountant General of the state, and then as well as Permanent Secretary at the same time. And then when I transferred my service to the federal, I started with the Director, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, and later Director of Funds, and then later Director of Special Duties. And before I was promoted to be the Permanent Secretary, and I served as a Permanent Secretary at the Federal Service. When I was appointed as the Permanent Secretary, actually a specific a kind of role was played, was created for me by the government. That's called it Special Duties under the Ministry of Finance, and that has to do with the public service reform, public service financial reforms. And I anchored that programs. Many of these financial programs that we have in the country as of today, actually I anchored them and to some extent implemented before retiring. The most notable ones are what we call the Treasury Single Account, the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, the Integrated Financial and Management Information System, and then even the whistleblowing. I was actually one who conceived the whole idea, nurtured to some extent, and then the cash management, and so many other reforms that were carried out by the federal government. I was the one who brain behind. That programs has actually yielded a lot of benefits to the federal government. Saving billions of naira, recovering billions of naira, removing ghost workers, thousands in the payroll of the federal government. These are some of the background I have, but then my background requires a lot of time to explain to you. But just in a nutshell, this is how I am as far as my working career, my education is concerned. But most importantly, I'm a professional accountant. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a member of the ICANN. I'm a member of ANAN. And I'm also a member of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. So I've visited so many world-class universities that certified people like Harvard in USA, like Cambridge in UK, like Oxford in UK as well, like Thames Valley in UK, like INSEAD is in France, what they call it, the World Business School. So all those areas I have so far been opportune to go through all those schools. So far so good. We have to be thanking God for us to even go through the public service, successfully retired, and having gone through the civil service for the last 35 years, both at the state and local, federal level. That shows that I have gained a lot of experiences within the space of within the course of my assignments, responsibilities at the various stations. And I felt that it is important for me to, one, document some of the experience, and the other one is to put it back, or rather my society, to the human beings to benefit. For the purpose of documentation, I edited about 17 books, has to do with finance, accounting, and the related programs that I've seen practically when I was in the public service. And for the purpose of, giving back to the society, and that's the major reason why I come up with the foundation. But for those who knows me quite in the history lane for long, they know that I'm into the foundation. Not only me, but the entire my family has been into the foundation for quite some time. In fact, this foundation has been nurtured for the last 25 years. And it will be actually, the name became popular when it changed to the Al Azhar Foundation. But then we have this foundation in the early 90s, and since that time we have been nurturing right from our local local government level, where we used to do community development services. We raised to the state and then do so many charitable projects to our society. And that is actually in me and within my family as well. They earlier actually encouraged me. We started with schools, small school, Sangaya school, and then gradually become, have a formal school whereby, both integrated, education in terms of the Western and the Islamic are also put in place. So foundation, the essence of it is to give back to society based on what I've actually experienced over the years. And I think it is the right time for me to do that, because there's nothing one can do which is more profitable here and hereafter than to provide service to the humanity. And that's what we are relying on. Yeah, actually, the rationale behind is that education is one of the most critical tools for any societal development. And one of the things that no society can run away from, educating either its society or individual, or as the case may be. But there is no way the world lives without education. Particularly during the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was about to be Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there was a revelation, and that was the first thing that was given as a directive or instruction to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to start. And which means the foundation of everything started with education. And if you look at the society we are in right now, what is most critically lacking or important is to get our people educated. We have suffered all the way, gets educated, because as at that time we don't have this opportunity of the IT or even easy way of going educational programs. We struck from one place to the other to search for education. But this time around, I think things are made easier, and we felt it is important for us to make it as one of the cardinal points of our the foundation, because the foundation has about 5 major objectives. Education is number 1, and then we have what we call the health, and then we have the security, we have also the humanitarian aspect, and then the information dissemination using the channels available like the radio, television, magazines, programs, for example, has to do with seminars, conferences. As the time goes, when the need arises, to sensitize our, the public around, the citizens around, of the need for them to what their role is as far as the governance is concerned. So all this kind of thing we used to do. So for the purpose of education, and as I earlier said, that's the fundamental. It's a big requirement for human development and societal development. And as such, we felt if we touch education, we'll touch every sector of the economy or every sector of the society. So that's why we're dealing with the education. Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, many have asked so many questions. Why did I have that intention to establish a university in Maiduguri? After all, the issue of insecurity is there, and so many other associated biases are there. Is it the right time for us to be thinking of a university? But I told them it's the right time simply because this is the time that we'll start doing something, so that by the time things are okay, when the things return, the university will be in the full session. People have started witnessing. So gradually, peace has returned to Maiduguri. and the people are, trying to make sure that their children are sent to this school. The university, I have it in the mind for long, but I was just waiting for a time to come, and time has come for us to establish the university with the help of the society, particularly the Borno State government. His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has tremendously helped us to establish the university. We cannot even, count of the number of, supports he has given to us, and he has really supported us in all the aspects to make sure that we establish the university, and that the university is going to be, will be fed by the secondary schools that we have across the nation. We have some secondary schools across the nation that anybody that graduates from that school, they will be given automatic admission as far as the Al-Azhar University is concerned. And our method of doing things at the secondary level is an integrated school, as I earlier said, has to combine the Western and Islamic education, the curriculum, the Western content, and then the Islamic content. That has to be Cambridge, and then the Islamic content are put together. So once we are able to nurture to that, and then it will be easy for you to go to the university. And as for us, as at the time when I conceived the idea of establishing a university, we have about 99 private universities in the whole country. However, in the whole of the zone, their own zone, that is it, Northeast zone, we have only 2. The other one is APTI, is in Yola. The second one is also a private university, but it's in Komotos, in somewhere in Taraba. So our own is the third one. So you understand, our one is the third one. That one is, they call it in Kwararafa, but Kwararafa University. It's a private university, but then it wasn't functional as such. But so we are the third, and then the fourth now with the Gombe one. So when we came up with the university idea, it's required a lot of consultations, required a lot of resources, it required a lot of support. I have taken my time to reach out to almost everybody within the country that are concerned, that are important. The 6 governors, I met them, all of them, and all the zone. I met all our leaders in the Borno State. I met almost all our politicians at the National Assembly, Senate, offered my idea, told them what I have in mind, wrote to them, to support, and the ministries, department, and agencies, including abroad. I traveled out across the country to meet some prominent, individuals, prominent schools, and so on and so forth. They all gave me support. I think Al-Azhar University will be, by the grace of God, one of the best universities in this country. And I'm sure it will even be beyond, because we have started with 3 colleges: Medical, College of Medicine, College of Social Sciences, and College of Sciences. And these 3 colleges, for the first time in the history of this country, to say that the first initial intake is about 750. Never in the history of this country why university just started with a student of 750. Most of the universities that started, they started with 200, 100 or something. But thank God we have the capacity, we have the resources in terms of the personnel. We have already borrowed more from the University of Maiduguri and the State University. They are volunteered, actually, most of them, the professors. We have over 50 professors as of today that have registered to be with us. So I think things are going on well, and hoping that everything will be okay by the grace of God. The general message is that this foundation, I'm not doing it for myself in the first place. I'm doing it for the generation just to come. Because at this my age, at this my level, the university I'm establishing maybe take 10 or 15 or 20 years to become a profitable, if it is so. But actually by that time, I don't think I need the money. Even as of today that I've retired, I need little money to survive. So I may not like to maybe more get money to buy aircraft, buy this and that. That's not issues for me. So the issue for me is that we have to give back to society. Everybody has to give back to society in his individual capacity. And as such, I call on all the concerned citizens to make sure that they also contribute their quota. Not necessarily for them to build university or take up a gigantic project, but in their own way, university is a global, process that involves everything. So in whatever way they can assist, they can come in and assist. And then, as I earlier said, we should be establishing more of this type, because as people look at the people that are coming out of the secondary school on a yearly basis, it's an average of 2 million. But the whole universities that we have in this country, about 200 universities that we have in this country, they have only a capacity of observing 500 out of the 2 million graduate every year. So which means there will be a backlog of about 1,500 that have graduated the secondary school, gone through the secondary school, have not gone to university. So that there's a lot of backlog. So we need to put our head together and then ensure that we create more universities and then technical colleges that provide skills and services to the society. Well, I thank God. In the first place, it's not easy for one to go through this kind of life. Having gone through 35 years in service at the peak of my career. In fact, for the last 25 years, I've been on the top of government, of my career. Right at the state level, I was a permanent secretary. Even at this federal, the permanent secretary. It's not easy. So the idea is that we should be finding a way of, doing our best to ensure that the society, improves in terms of the, security, in terms of their welfare, particularly those of us who have got, opportunity to be, educated at the, when things were okay. We need to, use those opportunities and get back to the society. And I have to call all my colleagues, but whether you are in government or not, anywhere you are, more especially people in Borno State, we need to do more. Instead of buying houses in London, America, you understand, or any other place, or even in Abuja, the cost of house that you are going to build in those places, one, you can go and establish anything in our locality, and before you know this, situation improve, their welfare will be improved, they will be, employed. If you look at for example, our security outfit, our security outfit, if you look at it, we targeted at employing about 10,000, into the service. As of today, we have about 2,000 on ground. Within the short period, we have almost 4,000 employees. We have also over 4,000, students across our schools. So these are kind of, impacting the society. So at a minimum, what we have, both in terms of student and, employee that we have, is over almost 10,000. This is reasonable. I'm sure in the next maybe few years to come, the number will multiply. So we must have to find a way of engaging our, youth, empowering our women, taking care of the orphans, taking care of the, less privileged in the society, give back to the society in general, support the government in what they are doing, so that at the end of the day, the society will be better off. We cannot just, continue to say that everything belongs to the government and we don't care, show a display and don't care attitude, which is not supposed to be the case. We should be, as a matter of, policy, handle everything belongs to either government or to the society as our own personal property. So we take care of it and then ensure that the society benefits and we get our reward from the Almighty God.